Rebecca Jane from yogawithrebeccajane.com. Welcome to this gorgeous beach called the 1,000 Steps in Southern California. And today we're going to be concentrating on balancing, multiple balances. It'll be fun on the sand. Before we even get started, please subscribe if you enjoy what you see. Just the subscribe button is over here, and comment if you let me know what you enjoy, what you want more of, and also thumbs up. So this sequence will be very much about what we call the root chakra in yoga. It's an energy wheel that starts at the base, from the feet to the base of the spine. So it's I'll be repeating over and over again: root and rise, root and rise. So you're rooting down with your feet, connecting with the earth, and then lifting up, lifting up, lifting up to the sky. And the beauty of teaching this in this environment is that I can actually touch the earth and the sky's above me. I do teach in London. I have a studio in London where I teach my live classes. So if you want to take some of my live classes, join us at Rebecca Jane, yogawithrebeccajane.com. Okay, we'll get started. Let's begin with, we're going to actually begin with just sitting. I'm sitting, if you can sit like I am, on my heels, or on your heels. If not, cross your legs and sit on a block. And we have some work being done in someone's house. Okay. Take a few breaths here. Let's take an inhale. And I want you to connect with the breath. So as you inhale, there's a rising up. And as you exhale, there's a rooting down. Begin to connect with that whole experience using your breath to begin. And as we do this, I want you to, as you inhale, you lift and you soften the tummy. And as you exhale, I want you to take your pelvic floor, pull it up as if you're kind of pulling it up. You're zipping up very tight trousers, and then pull the tummy in. That's your exhalation. So let's do a few of those. Concentrate on that. So taking an inhale, the tummy softens, or the belly softens. And then exhale, draw up through that pelvic floor, zipping up those tight trousers, pulling the tummy in towards the spine. And then release. We're gonna do 2 more sets. Taking an inhale. Let the belly soften, breathe into the rib cage, and then exhale, draw up through the pelvic floor, zip up those tight trousers, tummy pulls in, and then release. 1 more time. Taking an inhale, you're toning your tummy muscles at the same time. Inhaling, softening the tummy, lifting up, and then exhaling, drawing the pelvic floor in and pulling the belly in. And then gently come back to your natural position. So we're going to start either on with your legs crossed, or you can actually come onto your heels at this point. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We're going to do a few little cats and cows. You can open the knees wider if you're sitting on your heels, hands on your knees, and press back, round the spine, tuck your tailbone under. You will exhale here at this point, and then inhaling, lifting your heart, taking your tailbone, tilting it up, and then going back and forth. Inhaling, opening, lifting your heart, exhaling, rounding. Let's do a few more. Inhaling, opening, and exhaling, rounding. 2 more sets at your own pace. And then the next inhalation, let's lift up nice and tall, neutral spine, and let's come onto our hands and knees, and bring your knees slightly behind your hips, hands slightly beyond your shoulders. We're going to do a few little kind of wiggles from side to start. And then press your bottom to your heels. We're going to move into our circles, large circles to the right, starting with the right side and circling all the way around, finishing the circle, meeting back to your heels, your bottom to your heels. Let's do a few more. So the inhalation is the half a circle, and the exhalation is the finishing, completion of the circle. So let's do 3 more sets at your own pace. Inhaling and exhaling. Loosening up your spine. So wherever you are today or this evening, if you're most likely in your house or in your flat or wherever you might be, you can be at the beach for a moment. And then let's come back and sit back to your heels. Stretch through those hands, press the fingers into the ground. And then let's take a breath in, and as you breathe out, let's circle to the left. Round, half a circle is the inhalation, exhalation, complete the circle. Let's keep going, breathing in and breathing out. Round and round, loosening up your spine, staying present. One more set all the way around, and let's meet back into our extended child's pose. This time curl the toes under and stretch forward. Taking a breath in and taking a breath out. Then inhaling into your tabletop, walk your wrists underneath your shoulders, knees underneath your hips. Let's take your left, come onto that left knee, pick your left foot up and kickstand. Swivel that left foot so it's behind you now. Left, and then reach your right leg out to the side. Placing the foot flat on the ground, toes pointing to the right. Reach your right arm up to the sky, and then exhale. Bring that right arm over your right ear and stretch to the left. Take your right foot and stretch it a little bit more. Left hip, push it forward as you bring your right hip back. Take a breath in. And then lift all the way up, coming into your T shape, and then stretch over your right leg. Pick your left hand up and stretch over to the right. So we're starting to experience what it's like to be balancing on one leg. Rooting down with your left leg, then inhale back to your T, and then place your hands on the mat, swivel your left leg back, right knee back, into your tabletop. That's round through the spine as you exhale, and then inhaling, opening up cat stretch. Taking a breath in, come back to your neutral spine. Pick your right foot up, knee remains on the ground, swivel it back, they call this kickstanding, behind you, and extend your left leg. Right wrist underneath your right shoulder, inhaling your left arm up to the sky. Press through that left foot. The toes are pointing to the left. Push into that right shin and stretch over to the right side. As you do this, bring your mind's eye to your right hip. Push it forward as you bring your left hip back. Kind of, in a way, the shape of the half moon. Breathing, and you could also feel free to come onto your fingertips so you can come up a little bit higher. And then take an inhale, and then exhale, lift up into the T shape. Hold, take a breath in, and as you breathe that left arm over to the left side, reach your right arm up to the sky and stretch over to the left side. Notice where your hips are. Left hip pushed forward. So there's a slight, it's a very subtle movement. Right hip pulls back, left hip forward. You're squaring those hips. And then take an inhale and exhale. Cartwheel your arms down, come back onto your hands and knees. And let's take a pause in our child's pose. Let your arms settle down, forehead resting on the ground. Or on something, on your hands. Rooting down. So that whole idea of rooting and rising occurs also in your child's pose. You're rooting down, but at the same time your middle back lifts, your bottom presses back, and the tailbone lifts up a little bit. So there's ability to kind of do the two, work the two together. To be able to rise and root at the same time is what keeps us supple and strong and vibrant. Let's inhale into our tabletop. Let's curl the toes under. We'll sit back towards the heels. Now this is going to feel very different on a hard surface. Sand, not so difficult. Interesting, the difference between the two. This might feel painful. If you can work through it, take a moment and inhale, reach your arms up. And float the arms down. Just another deep breath in. Inhale, lift, and exhaling down. This time, as you inhale your arms up, pick your bottom off your heels, place the tops of the feet on the ground, reach your arms up, take your hands and place them on your lower back, so around the sacrum, and take a breath in, squeeze your elbows towards each other and lean back, a very, very gentle back bend. This is a camel, but we're not going to go too far, not yet. Pushing your hips forward. As you do so, your chest lifts up. So there's that. And then let's lower ourselves down, come onto our hands and knees, and curl the toes under and press back into a downward dog. So take a few breaths here. Do whatever feels good in your downward dog with the same idea of rooting down with the hands and the feet and lifting up through the tailbone. So it's that simultaneous upward and the uplift and the downward movement of energy. But so it's energy, it's an energetic experience, but also a physical experience. Taking an inhale and then exhaling, walking, finding your way to the front of the mat. Whatever way it works for you. Once you get to the front of the mat, feet are hip distance apart. Let's let ourselves hang here for a moment, either taking the opposite hand to the opposite elbow if that feels good, or release the hands towards the ground. But I want you to feel the stretch all the way down the backs of your legs. Even if you need to bend the knees, you could still get a really nice stretch behind the legs. Drop your head, shake your head no, shake your head yes. We're going to go through a few sun salutations to warm up our bodies. Taking an inhale, release your hands to the ground. Inhaling, lip pushing into those shins, lengthening your spine. Looking down to wherever your eyes meet the ground. Then exhale, forward fold. Let's do this just a few times. Inhaling, pressing into those shins, or some of us can actually place our fingers on the ground, making sure that you feel that lengthening, and then exhale exhaling, forward fold. And this time, inhale, lift all the way up, reach, 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 reach to the sky. And then float the hands down to your sides. Place your hands on your lower back, just like we did before, on our knees. Squeeze the elbows and lean back into a gentle back bend. Let's inhale, straighten the spine. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Interlace the hands, sweep the palms up, and then stretch to the right. And inhale, lift back up, and stretch to the left. One more time, inhale up, release the arms, float all the way down, swan dive down, forward bend. Let's inhale, press into the shins or onto the ground, lift up halfway. Exhaling, forward fold. Let's inhale, sweep your arms up. One more set, reach, 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 reach. Exhale, float the hands out to the sides. Place the hands on your lower back, breathing in, lift through the heart. Taking an inhale, re-straighten your spine. Inhale, arms, lift, lift, lift. Exhale, forward fold. Step back into your downward dog. Taking a breath in and taking a breath out. Bring your left foot in towards your right foot and reach your right leg up to the sky. Now, make sure you're not just, your leg is too limp. We really want to activate those muscles in that right leg. Now, peel open that right hip, stack your right leg over your left, opening up that right hip. You could do this on your knee. You could place your left knee down and do the same. And then maybe bend your right knee. Opening up that right hip, looking under right arm or under your left arm. And then taking an inhale and re-straightening that right leg, squaring the hips to the ground. Take an inhale either on your hands or knees or follow me, knee to nose. We're just staying here for a moment, we're doing abdominals. And then inhale, re-straighten that right leg. So if you're doing it on your hands and knees, you do the same thing. Reach that leg up. Now, follow me. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, I want you to bring your right knee to the outside of that left elbow. So as close as you can. Then inhale, reach that right leg up. And this time, exhale, right knee to the outside of that right arm. So elbow or shoulder. Shoulder and wrists are in line. And then inhale, reach that right leg up. And then exhale, step your right foot between your hands and left foot between your hands. You're at the front of the mat, forward bend. Whew. Inhaling halfway, warming up. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhaling, float the hands down and place the hands on your lower back. Take an inhale, lift your chest towards the sky, leaning into those hands as you simultaneously push with the hands, the hips forward with the hands. Squeeze your elbows towards each other, then inhale, lift back up nice and tall. Inhale, reach your arms up, exhale, forward fold. Rooting down and lifting. Taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, step back. Downward dog. Or extended child's pose. There's always an option for those that can't hold the downward dog for that long. Taking a breath in, rooting down with those hands. Rooting down with your feet. Lifting up through the tailbone. Taking an inhale, and as you exhale, Bring your right foot in towards your left foot. You can do this on hands and knees. Inhaling that left leg up to the sky. Now commit to that lift. Lift, 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 as if you are not just doing it halfway, you're actually feeling the stretch in that left leg. Then stack your left leg over your right, opening up your left hip, and bend your left knee. Hands and knees, the same thing. Rooting down and lifting up simultaneously. Open up that hip a little bit more, peel it open, and then taking an inhale, re-squaring the hips to the ground, re-straightening that left leg. Hands and knees, or in your downward dog. Take an inhale, bring your knee to nose. Round up through the spine. And then inhale, lift that left leg back up. Commit to that lift. And then exhaling, knee to nose again. If you find the knee to elbows is just too much for you, feel free to just continue knee to nose. Inhale that left knee leg up, and then exhale this time, left knee, cross it over your body to your right elbow. Inhale, lift that left leg back up. And exhale, left knee to left elbow, or maybe shoulder. And inhale, lift up nice and tall. And then exhale, lower that left foot down. Let's just take a pause here for a moment. And lower the knees to the ground. Child's pose, but keep the child's pose awake and active. Stretching through those arms, breathing in, Ujjayi breath, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's take a breath in. Let's slide forward onto our bellies. Come onto the forearms, elbows under shoulders. This is a Sphinx pose, a very basic back bend, but we're going to start here. Squeeze the legs together. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, telescope your chest forward towards your thumbs. Press the feet into the ground, pubic bone into the ground. Squeeze those bottom cheeks, look towards your thumbs. Take a breath in and take a breath out. And then come all the way down, slide the hands next to your chest. Take a breath in and lift up maybe an inch, maybe a little bit more, but keeping those elbows bent and squeezing inward. Looking down, not forward, squeezing, and then lower yourself down, taking an inhale, and then exhale, curling the toes under, breathing in and lifting up into a plank. Feel free to stay in the plank or knees down or up. Taking a few breaths here, inhaling, legs are together, and exhaling. And then lift back into your downward dogs. Left foot in towards your right foot. Inhale your right leg up to the sky. Rooting down and rising up, step your right foot between your hands. Either left knee down or up, fingertips on the ground. Breathing in, opening up that chest, pressing that left heel back. If your knee is off the ground, I want you to stretch out the back of that left leg. Blocks might be handy here. And then step your left foot forward, forward fold. Taking an inhale, halfway. Exhaling, forward fold, and inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky. Exhaling, hands to heart. Inhaling, reaching your arms up to the sky. Exhaling, swan dive down, forward bend. Inhaling, halfway. Exhaling, stepping back, downward dog. Inhaling into your plank. Now staying in your plank or knees down or up. Come on to your right forearm, then your left forearm. Stay here, pause. Breathing in, looking towards your thumbs. Breathing in and out. Then lower the knees to the ground. Lower your pubic bone to the ground. Squeeze your legs together. Elbows are underneath your shoulders. Inhaling, and use your exhalation to telescope your chest towards your thumbs. You should feel this wonderful opening of the front of your body, especially the shoulders, and then lower yourself down. Slide your hands next to your chest. Stay here, breathing in, elbows squeeze in. Lift the chest up just a little bit or a lot, depending on the flexibility of your spine. Breathing in, and as you breathe out, lower down. Keep your hands where they are. Breathe in, curl the toes under. Take an inhale. Exhale, pull the belly in, lift it to your plank, or you can go straight to your child's pose. Exhale, downward dog. Breathing in and breathing out. Bringing your right foot in towards your left foot. Take an inhale and exhale, step your left foot between your hands. Either that back knee is down or up. We're coming into a very gentle lunge here. Fingertips stay on the ground or on blocks. If your knee is down, if your knee is up, press your right heel back. Lengthen the crown of the head forward. The foot backwards, create that length in your body. So it's the rooting down, but also lengthening in multiple directions, and taking a breath in, and as you breathe out, step your right foot forward, forward fold. Taking an inhale halfway, exhaling forward fold, and inhale, sweep your arms up to the sky, lift, 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 lift. Hands to heart. Take a pause. As you pause, let's take 3 deep Ujjayi breaths. Inhaling and exhaling. And inhale. And exhale. Now gently open your eyes. We're going to now move into our first balance, standing balance. This is a tree. Take your right foot on your left ankle. Now I'm on the beach, so a little bit more complicated. Little bit more of a, there's less of a, obviously it's very soft terrain. Find where you want to place your foot. Either anywhere but the knee joint. Place it inside your left thigh. Right hands in front of your heart. Squeeze your bottom cheeks. And maybe lift your arms up. Lifting, holding, breathing. Root and rise. Soften the shoulders. So your left leg is your balancer. It's what keeps you from falling. We need that leg. But at the same time, we're rising up. Now, if you want to add on, right hand on the right thigh. This is only for those who feel pretty stable. And then bend towards your right leg, bringing that left arm over to the right. Turn the pinky finger of that left hand. And then inhale, reach your right arm back up, and then lower down. Let's just do an inhale, stretch, stretch, stretch. Exhaling, forward fold. Stretching out those legs, feeling into the ankles, all the work that was required to keep you from falling, keeping you balanced. Inhaling halfway, slide the hands up the shins. Exhaling, forward fold, and then sweep your arms up to the sky. Floating the arms out to the sides, bringing your hands on your lower back again. Squeezing elbows together. Breathing in, pushing your hips forward, squeezing your elbows towards each other, lifting your heart. Feeling the sun on your face. Even if it's not there, just imagining, inhaling, lifting up nice and tall. Reaching your arms up, hands to heart. Okay, we're on the other balance. Left foot now on the right ankle. Now place your left foot anywhere but the knee joint. I'm going to place mine inside my right thigh. Hands to heart. Squeeze your bottom cheeks together. That's the key. Engaging those inner thigh muscles, engaging your glute muscles, and reaching the arms up. Keep your hips squared. Soften the shoulders down. So that might mean that left knee tends to move forward rather than directly out to the side. Hips are squared forward, and then if you wish to go further, left hand on your left thigh, reach your right arm up and bend over to your left leg. Woo! And then inhale, reach your arms up, and then lower your left knee down. Let's do a few little hip circles to loosen up those hips. As we come back to the front of the mat, if you're not already, we have some surfers behind us. It's so cool. Inhale, reach your arms up to the sky, leaning back. Your spine should be quite warm by now. Exhale, hands together, float the hands down, bow forward. From here, take your left foot, bring it to the center of the mat, step your right foot back. So we're going to step back and cartwheel the arms. I'm going to spin around into our warrior two. Heel is in line with the middle of that back foot, so it's in line with the arch. Reach the arms. Take a breath in. Soften the shoulders down. Knee is over the ankle, not beyond the ankle. Let's just spin the whole palms up. Inhale, reach your arms up, straighten your left leg. Exhale, rebend your left knee. Spin the palms up, lift up. And then exhale, bring the arms back down so you're now back into your warrior two. Now straighten your left leg, right hand on your right hip, hinge over your left leg. Now find that spot on the shin or on a block. You don't want to collapse down. You want to take your right hand on that right hip and pull it up so that right hip is squared with the bottom hip. Lift your right arm up. So you don't want to collapse forward. You need to feel as if you can slide between two panes of glass easily. Bring that right arm slightly back to open up that shoulder. And then take a breath in, take that right hand back on your right hip, rebend your left knee. Now we're going into the second balance, half moon. Okay, take your left hand, place the thumb right near the baby toe to start, and then slide that thumb all the way until it is off the mat, on a block. If you're new to this, I would suggest the block. And then lift your right leg up. Now, here we are again. Hip joint opens up. Right foot is flexed. It's pointing. So your right foot is flexed. Outer edge of the foot is up, pointing up. Heel is pressing forward. Open up that hip a little bit more. If you can include the right arm, lift it up. If you're too wobbly, leave the arm on your hip. And then lower that right hand, that right foot back down. Rebend your left knee, warrior two. And then Twist your body forward, lower the hands to the ground, step back, downward dog. Oh. Take a vinyasa or take a pose here. Take a child's pose or stay in downward dog. And if you're wondering what vinyasa is, you plank to chaturanga, to either cobra or upward dog, which includes upward dog is when the tops of the feet are on the ground, and then press back, downward dog. Everybody meet back in downward dog. Let's walk to the front of the mat. Forward bend. Inhaling halfway. Exhaling, forward bend, inhale. Sweep your arms up to the sky. Interlace those hands except for your index fingers and reach back, opening up your heart. Inhaling, lifting up nice and tall. Let the arms float out to the sides. Come all the way down to your legs. Now we're going to step your left foot back. Heel toe that right foot until the heel and the arch are in a straight line. You're tight roping. Right knee is in line with your ankle. I love it, huh? Love it, love it. Reach your arms out. So here we are in Warrior Two. Taking a breath in and taking a breath out. This time we're going to spin the palms back, and as you straighten that front leg, I want you to reach your arms back and then spin the palms forward, bend the knees, and bring the arms forward. Inhaling, straighten that front leg, push the hands back, spin the palms back, rebend that front knee, inhale, exhaling forward. Inhale, open the arms, little slightly different sequence with the arms. And then one more time, let's come back to neutral, back to center. Take an inhale, and then exhale, straighten your front leg, left hand on your left hip, hinge over that right leg. Hand on the shin, block, thigh. Think about hip joint pointing upwards, squaring the hips first. Then maybe, just maybe, left arm lifts. Reach them back, opening up that shoulder. Breathing in and breathing out. And then take that left hand back on your left hip, rebend your right knee. So now you know where we're going. Take your right hand, place the thumb just in front of the baby toe first, and then walk it away, forward. The thumb and the baby toe are in line. You're going to take a breath in, root down with that right foot, and then lift up with your left leg. Left hand on your left hip. Now, most of us find ourselves in a position, a shape where our hips are turning down, and our toes are, our left foot is also. So what we want to do is open everything up as best as we can, and then maybe lift your left leg up. Oh, not the left arm, sorry about that. Your left leg is already up. It's just practice. Just practice. Not a big deal if you don't get it. And then lower your left hand down. Replace that left foot. Rebend your right knee and reach your arms out. Warrior Two. Curl your back toes under. Frame your right foot. Step back into your child's pose, or do a vinyasa like we did. I'm going to take a child's pose for 3 breaths. Listening to the water, watching the surfers. Inhaling, come back into your tabletop. Curl the toes under. Press back into a downward dog. Inhaling into your plank. Knees down or up, lower down onto your tummies. Stay here. We're going to go into a back bend. So I suppose this is a kind of a balance. We're balancing on our bellies. This is a bow pose. And you're going to first, you'll bend your knees, and your knees are about hip distance apart. Now, not every one of us is able to grab hold of our ankles. It's just, we're not ready to do that, or our backs, for various reasons, we cannot do it. So what I recommend, I'm going to show you this one first, is you're going to keep your legs straight, bring the arms next to your sides. This is called a locust, and you're going to lift your head, chest off the ground, and legs, and also maybe the hands, reach them back. So that's the alternative. Otherwise, follow me. Bend the knees and take your left hand, grab hold of either the top of the foot, or if you're quite flexible, the ankle. Right hand, grab hold of the ankle or the top of the foot. If you grab hold of your ankle, flex the feet. Forehead on the ground, thighs on the ground. We have to prepare first. Take a breath in. And as we breathe out, the thighs lift up, and then your chest, forehead and chest lift. Kick your feet into your hands. So you're pushing the legs back into those hands as your chest telescopes forward and you're looking towards the ground. Breathing in and breathing out. Squeeze the bottom cheeks, squeeze the shoulders, and then lower down. We're going to do one more set. Either a locust, as I showed you just earlier, or your bow. One more time. You decide which is best for you. Bend the knees, take your left hand, grab hold of the foot or the ankle. Bring the knees slightly closer towards each other. Not touching, but closer. Squeeze your bottom cheek, squeeze your shoulder blades. Take a breath in, then lift up. Always prepare first. And then once your thighs are off the ground, kick your feet into your hands. As you do this, your chest reaches forward. So you're kind of taking your body in two opposite directions. And you're balancing on your bellies. And then lower yourself down. Place your hands next to your chest. Lift up into your tabletop first. Do a few little shakes from side to side. And then sit back into your child's pose, legs together. This is actually called embryo. Bring the arms next to your legs. And let's take a deep breath in. Let's take another 2 breaths. Listen to the water, listen to the ocean. This is the Pacific Ocean. I keep forgetting to tell people, just in case you didn't know. And let's slowly lift ourselves up. Back into our tabletop. Shake out our hip joints a little bit. Do a little wag the tail. Curl the toes under. One more balance before we come down to warm down. Downward dog. Walk your feet to the front of the mat. You can jump. If you're a jumper, jump. Forward bend. This time we're rolling up. With ragdoll roll. Take a breath in and roll up one vertebra at a time. Take your shoulders together, squeeze them, and then let the hands reach backwards. Palms are facing each other. Squeeze your bottom cheeks. Engage those muscles. Opening up that chest. So we're really concentrating right now on our shoulders. And then come back and come back to a nice tall spine and release the shoulders. Now we're doing our one-legged standing pose, big toe to hand, but we're gonna keep the foot forward rather than out to the side, okay? So here we go. I'll start here, then I'll show you from this direction. So left foot is your standing foot, your root down, soft knee. Bring your right knee up towards you first, hug the knee into your chest. So some of us, this is where we stay. That's just enough. Or take your hands underneath your thigh, that's perfect. Now you can then take your right hand, take your thumb, index finger, middle finger, bind your right foot and reach it forward. And if you can go further, lift your left arm up. Hold, hold, hold. Breathing, rooting, rising. And if you want to try this, just release your hand, keep your right leg up, and then lower it down. Woo! That's forward bend. Come into your forward bend, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Then roll back up. Take an inhale and exhale, ragdoll roll. Squeeze your shoulder blades together again. And then release. Okay, now we have the other leg. Let's see which one's easier, which one's harder. Root down with your right leg. Lift your left knee up. Always preparation for it. Once it's up, you can either keep your hands, you can place your hands underneath your left thigh, or grab hold of your big toe with your thumb, index finger, and middle finger. Right hand on the hip and kick forward. So we're staying forward for this one. Rise up, root with that right leg and rise up through the crown of the head. Kick through that left foot and maybe reach your right arm up. Breathing in and out. It's actually a lot easier on the sand. I don't know why. Grass is a whole different experience. And then maybe release your foot, just let it hold it, and then lower it down. And then release down, forward bend. And let's come all the way down. And onto our right hip. Extend, and just shake out your legs. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Shake it out, shake it out. Take your hands, fingers, point them forward towards your hips, slide them behind you. Straighten the arms, take an inhale, lift your heart. Then exhale, bend the elbows and squeeze the elbows in. Let's do a few little opening of the heart. And then rounding the back, pulling the tummy in. And one more time, inhale. You have a choice to stay here with the legs on the ground or point your toes and lift your bottom up, coming into your upward plank. Opening, feeling that wonderful stretch. And then lower down. And let's slide our hands forward, fold forward over your legs. Let's take another 3 breaths here. Take your time, enjoying the sounds of the ocean. Let's slowly lift up. Let's lower ourselves onto our backs. Keep your feet flat on the ground. Oh, it's nice lying in the sand. Okay, take your right ankle on your left thigh. Hands slide them behind your left thigh or the shin. depending on your flexibility. If you're behind your left leg, make sure your legs are at a 90-degree angle. Push your right knee forward. Take a few breaths here. As you breathe in, you bring the legs closer towards you. As you breathe out, push the legs away. Chin tucked just enough as if you have an apple between your chin and your chest. Lower your left foot down, open the arms out to the sides, and let your knees drop to the right. Inner edges of that left foot is facing downward. Turn your gaze to the left. And then let's heel toe that left foot back until it's directly underneath your knee, back on the mat. Take your right foot off. Before we go on to the other side, I want us to measure out for bridge. Walk your heels and tap the tip of your middle fingers. Feet are slightly wider than your hips. Take a breath in, and as you breathe out, lift up into your bridge. So lift the tailbone off the ground. You don't have to go very far here, but if you want to go a little further, interlace the hands underneath you, but roll your shoulders in towards each other and press into the earth with your hands as you lift a little higher. So we're going to be here for about 3 breaths. Breathing in. Opening up the front of the body, listening to the ocean. One more deep breath in. And as you breathe out, unroll those shoulders if you have your hands underneath you. Release the hands to your sides. And then lower yourself down, starting with the upper part of your back and lower down 1 vertebra at a time. And then walk your feet a little bit further forward. Take your left ankle on your right thigh. Hands behind your right thigh. You could stay here at a 90-degree angle, or if you could reach your shin without any pain, then grab hold of the shin. Press your left knee forward, draw your right knee in. Taking an inhale. Feeling the stretch all the way up your left side of your glutes and your abductor muscles, which includes a lot of different muscles. And then lower your right foot down, open the arms out to the sides, and let your knees drop to the left. Turn your gaze to the right. And let's pick the knees back up, uncross your left leg, and let's prepare ourselves for Savasana. So nice long Savasana. Closing your eyes, listening to the sound of the ocean. I will let you know when we're ready to complete our practice. So just close the eyes, just be. gently begin to wake up. Taking a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Wiggle fingers, wiggle toes. And then slowly begin to stretch out the body, closing the distance between your legs. Take a deep breath in. Stretch through the arms, stretch it through the legs. And then exhale, hug your knees into your chest. Then roll onto your right side and pause just for a moment in your fetal shape on your right side. Take in all the sounds of nature, even if you're not physically here. Listen. And then slowly and gently find your way up into your cross-legged seat. And once you're settled in, take a moment to feel in to yourself, to how your body feels compared to when you first sat down. How your mind feels. Is it less chatty? Is it less tired? And also your emotions. As we bring our hands in front of our hearts to seal our practice, for this balancing sequence, this rooting and rising. This is what life is about, rooting and rising, resting and being active. This is the cycle of life. Thank you for being with me. This is Rebecca Jane from Yoga with Rebecca Jane, and I'll see you soon. If you enjoy my classes, subscribe by pressing the button on the right-hand side. Comment, let me know what you want more of, what you like, and give me a thumbs up. I'll see you soon.